All right, what's up, guys? It is another beautiful Monday morning out here, and today we are going to get some miles in a new shoe. So on the bottom here, I have some, well, on the left of the bottom here, I have some of my favorite Max Cushion shoes. Two of these are from the same brand here, New Balance. We have the 1080, super soft, and then we have the SE Trainer V2 here, also soft but bouncy. It's got the plate, and we have the Triumph 22, which is the reason I'm doing this video, because it's been one of the most disappointing experiences I've had with the shoe so far this year, and I was trudging my way to 100 miles, but we're going to give it a break. We're going to give it a rest. No one needs to hear me talk about this shoe anymore, but I wanted to pull out a shoe that I've been saving for a while from a brand called Skechers. You may or you may not have heard of them. They're based out in California. They used to make shoes in Payless that you could buy in 2007 that looks like Air Forces, that looked like Jordans, that looked like Tims. And now, and maybe they did back then too, but they make performance running shoes, and they call themselves the Comfort Technology Company. It's like they're trying to raise a Series B from Sequoia or something. The Comfort Technology Company. I like that. And they list all their comfort technologies on the top of the box here. So this is not actually my first running shoe from Skechers. I also tried the Alpha Tempo, which was a serviceable shoe. It was serviceable, but it wasn't as good as the SE Trainer. It wasn't as good as the Boston 12. It had some things here and there that I thought they could tweak for the next generation to make it a little bit better. It was not as disappointing as this shoe here, the MF 22. But with that, we are going to try our second Skechers running shoe. I'm thinking they've been doing this for a while. They're pretty solid. I'm thinking we're going to have one of these shoes. I have one more inside that's going to hit from Skechers. Could it be the Max Road 6? Let us find out. Alright guys, it is starting to rain here, so I don't know how long we can be out here in the shoe market, but let us take a look at the Max Road. I have no idea what this is going to look like, what color it's going to be. Boom. Ooh! Bang! They gave us a looker. Look at that. Man, some shoes are hard to get on camera and to make pop. This one is not. Look at this thing. This is a Lemonade. You guys know that song, Gucci Mane? Then remixed by everyone else? We might have to put that on. The Gucci Mane Camp, not the estate. The Gucci Mane Camp is they're gonna strike me, but that's a fire beat. This is the Gucci Mane Lemonade Max Road 6. It is another wide chunker here. Let's see, let's just compare it to the Triumph, because that's also a wide shoe. Bada boom, bada bang. It's a little bit narrower than the Triumph here. On the bottom, you have the Goodyear rubber, and it is raining a little bit today, so we'll get to test how good this Goodyear rubber is. Is it as good as the Continental rubber from Adidas? Is it as good as the Puma Grip rubber? I'm not sure. We'll have to find out. And then in the midsole here, we have, it says carbon infused, so it does have a little bit of a partial plate in here, help stabilize it, hopefully add some pop. It also tells us it's machine washable. You can throw your shoes in the washing machine, which is nice. The upper here, I don't even know. It looks like we got some Spy Kids swag going on with the upper. On the back, we got that little S. We got some overlays. I gotta say, I actually like the way the midsole looks. The upper, nah fam. This looks like, you know what this looks like? Heelys, bro. You guys remember those Heelys? And it even has the empty part where the wheel would be. I'm about to pull up with the Heelys in these things, man. Yeah, so aside from the 2009 design aesthetic of this shoe, it has the Hyper Burst Ice Foam. So they say dual density Hyper Burst foam featuring a plush responsive core surrounded by an outer layer of firmer Hyper Burst foam for increased support. So you can actually see here, if you take a look at this midsole, there's a yellow inside. So it looks like it's wrapped in the Hyper Burst foam, and then inside you have the yellow ice foam, which is going to be softer and bouncier. Now, let me see if I can find the tech sheet for this guy. Hold on. I have to find the tech sheet so we can go through all the specs. Baby, I'm Jimmy. Baby, I'm Jimmy. All right. So let's take a look. You got the arch fit insole. This is the number one thing that bothers people with these Skechers shoes. We already knew about that, and I'll talk about it when we get it on foot. What I wanted to show you, specs, 35-41 with the offset. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to do the ad-lib thing. I'm not going to do it. My guy Sean called me out for doing it 3 times in 2 videos, but it didn't hit. No one was commenting on it the first time, so I think that joke has run its course. Offset! No, it just came out. But all right, stack height, 35-41. So that is nice. We get above 41 in the heel here, and then a 6mm drop, which is absolutely perfect. That is the same thing as, let's close this. That's the same thing as the 1080 here. With this guy, we get 38 in the heel and 32 in the forefoot. Also, this shoe is starting to show its wear a little bit. I think I should clean this off, clean it up a little bit, give it a nice little refresh here because it's starting to look a little tired, especially if we walked all around Savannah with it. Oh, that's that city. You can see it's got that city look to it now. Oh, it's just, But yeah, 38 in the heel, 32 in the forefoot. We need to give it that suburban cleanup today. Make it a little nicer looking. It's just looking a little bit tired here. But I love that 6mm drop. That was one of my issues with the oomph here. And it's getting a little bit darker out here. But that was one of my issues with this shoe. 10mm drop. It felt, oh my gosh, man. We're just getting smoked. The slugs. Look. I'm an animal activist. I gently placed the slug on the railing there. I did not hurt it. But this guy is a 10mm drop. And there's 2 issues with that. The first is that it can create the slamming down effect if you're landing farther back on the platform. The second is just you don't get as much foam in the forefoot. So with this guy, with the 6mm drop, you get 35 up in the forefoot. If it had a 10mm drop, you would only get 31. So 35, that is a ton of foam in the forefoot here. It's also reinforced with that carbon plate. It also it looks cool. It looks like there's some sort of a precious acid inside. I was going to say precious metal, but no. Some precious acid potion inside that's glowing out like the Gucci Mane lemonade. This is a cool looking shoe. It almost looks so weird that I think all those people I was hanging out with last week in Savannah who are from Brooklyn, I think they would think I were cool for wearing this shoe because it looks so weird. So we'll see. This is some swag. I just have to get some baggy linen pants, cut them up, put this on, get an oversized striped shirt, get those ankle socks that go up to here, and that's the swag I'm talking about. That's that city slicker swag, bro. None of that suburban stuff. And in terms of other stuff on the spec sheet here, the tech sheet, they say breathable engineered mesh. I'll let you guys know how breathable it is. It doesn't look like there's too much padding around here on the upper, actually it looks pretty comparable to the Triumph here. So definitely a comfort-oriented shoe. It's a little bit deceiving. But yeah, these uppers are actually super similar. But this one is a little bit softer, closer to the 1080 with the material here, unlike this Triumph, which was not my favorite. We're not going to talk about that guy anymore. So I'm going to grab the scale. We can pop this thing on, and then we can just get it on foot and do our run this morning. I'm excited to get some miles in my second Skechers running shoe here, the Max Road 6, baby. Let's do it. All right, guys, let's see. And it is getting very dark out here. All right, so right shoe coming in at 338 grams. That is heavy. Triumph here was 320, I believe, just for comparison. And we were saying it's a super heavy shoe. So Skechers now has the crown. Yeah, Skechers is 10 grams heavier. This now has the crown for being the heaviest max cushion shoe. If you take a look at the 1080 here, and man, oh man, these slugs are just killing me. But every time we get some more max cushion shoes to compare with our 1080, this thing just keeps looking better and better. I've been hyping it up for months now, but look at that. Look at that. 287 versus 330 something for this guy, and you get more foam in this shoe, but still, that's a big weight difference. And then just for comparison's sake, let's see, any slug watch. No, throw this guy on here, SC Trainer V2. This is coming in at 290. So this also has a plate. This has the full length plate, just like our friend here, the Max Road 6, which has partial carbon plate. 4-foot plate, which they say, this is what they say the carbon infused little vibe of the shoe does. Patent pending. Carbon infused forefoot plate offers an extremely high stiffness to weight ratio. Let's unpack that. Stiffness to weight. So do you want it to be very stiff? Because it's a heavy shoe. So you want it to be very stiff and heavy or not? I don't know. Which promotes stability and next level energy return. I'm still noodling on that stiffness to weight ratio. So do you want it to be stiffer and heavier? Because you're really heavy. So do you want it to be flexible? I would think if you have a heavier shoe, stiffness to weight would mean that you want it to be more flexible, and I don't know. All right, it's time to get this on foot. We're going to get some recovery miles in today. Let us do it. Man, these slugs are just destroying me. All right, hold on. We got to do the other shoe here. So 337.5. Now I can't remember what the first one was. 338.5. Look at that. Good QA. Good QA Skechers. Where's this shoe made? China. Made in China. So the rain is really starting to come down now. Yesterday for the long run, we were getting absolutely obliterated by that rain in certain times. At certain times of the run. And these little tags are hard. Machine washable might be nice though for the summer. If your shoes are getting gross, just throw them in the washing machine. But man, I'm just curious. I don't care about the upper. I don't care about the machine washability. I'm curious if this midsole is gonna sing. If it's gonna be a nice, soft, cushioned bed. So in the Alpha Tempo, it was okay. It was a little bit on the heavier side like this. And I didn't feel that I was getting anything that much different or special out of the midsole. And one of the things about, wow, guys, this is a very comfortable shoe on stepping. Even just slipping my foot in there. This is what I was expecting out of the oomph. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and this upper reminds me a little bit of the 1080. Dude, this is just on step-in feel. We might have a contender here. This is exactly what I was thinking of. Even though it looks like Heelys. What's the other shoe? Airwalk. This looks like Heelys X Airwalk. But hey, that's cool. That's back in again in 2024. No, it was actually, with the Brooklynites, it was all Adidas, Samba, Campus, or Gazelle. You get those. You have to dirty them up. Get those with the little socks with the frilly tops here with the little daisy on them. Set it off, bro. That absolutely set it off. But yeah, on step-in, this is one of the softest foams I've felt in a while, similar to the 1080. Now, I can feel the rocker. I didn't even notice how big of a rocker there was in this, but look at this. Look at this little roll here. And the other thing is I can feel a little bit of that arch fit. So what the arch fit is it pokes up here to provide some arch support. The other weird thing with the upper that I'm feeling is it feels low cut. I forget which shoe I was wearing recently. Oh, it was the Atreyu. It also had this low cut feeling. Let me see if I can grab a shoe here. Yeah, so take a look at my dirty 1080s here. I don't know if you can see the difference, but it goes up a little bit higher. Just feels like it holds the ankle a little bit more. With these right now, just feels like it's a little bit low, but we should be okay. But man, step-in comfort of these, 9 out of 10. The only things I would change are that midfoot arch doesn't feel amazing, and it's a little bit low cut here. Let's see, a little walk test.
Yeah, and you can see it's coming down again. All right, well, we got a job to do. We got to test these shoes. So we'll walk test in the rain. See if we can make it under the tree here.
Yeah, very comfortable. This foam is comfortable. It's just it feels like my heel is going to move around because it's not super locked in here. Yeah, you can see, look how little space there is between the top of this upper and the midsole foam. This might be the shortest back part of the upper I've ever seen. It's like 1.5 inches. Let's go compare to some other shoes so you can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, wow. This foam is so soft and bouncy. This is sick. I love it. And then, hold on. Oh, a little grip test. The brick is pretty slick, but we're not getting much grip there. Let's see. Grip test down here. No. So, I don't know. We'll see when we run, but I'm not optimistic about the Goodyear. Yeah, take a look at how much space there is between the top of the midsole and the bottom of where this cuts down here versus there. And you can see there's a big difference. So I'm going to crank these down a little bit tighter, and then we can go out there and run. So plan for this run is a 10-mile recovery run. Yesterday we had the 22-mile long run. So today is about time on feet, recovery. I'm actually not sure how many miles I'm getting this week because I'm traveling again this weekend. So I'm going to have to probably move my long run to Friday and then going to be with the family all day Saturday and Sunday. So I don't know if 100 is going to be in the cards this week. We'll see. But today, probably cruise to 10 this morning. I don't think I'm going to double this afternoon. This is my only run for the day. Just move the legs. No goal pace for this guy. Yesterday was a bit of a tough run for that long run, but we got it done and we fast finished on the tired leg, so that was good. But let's see. Yeah, this upper just feels like it's going to be a little bit slippy and slidey in the back here, but we'll have to see. I don't know what it is about it. I think it's the low cut thing mixed with, there's a lot of padding in the back, but not closer up. It's something from this part of the shoe onward is a little bit weird in the upper, but man, this foam feels so good. All right, recovery run, let's do it. All right, guys, 10-mile recovery run, nice and smooth, 7:54 pace, 1 hour, 21 minutes, 5 seconds, and the Skechers Max Road 6 is a nice shoe, man. This is everything that I was hoping from the Triumph 22. It's not too soft, not too firm. It has a nice roll to it, a nice bounce to it. It reminds me a little bit of how the Brooks Ghost Max felt, except this foam is a little bit livelier and you got the plate up here, but really solid shoe. I'm going to look up the price real quick because it didn't have it on that tech sheet, because that's going to influence the value proposition here, but great shoe. It's interesting because this is a really fun shoe, 10-mile recovery run, 1 hour, 20 minutes, which is probably the longest time on feet most runners will be doing on a regular basis, about 1.5 hours. And then if you're marathon training, you'll go up to 2 hours. But performed really well. And it's just that it's from Skechers. So this is not a shoe I would have considered. And of course, if I didn't request, so I reached out to them and I asked them to send me this and a few other things. If I didn't do that, I never would have tried this shoe. I never would have bought a Skechers shoe with my own money. Now, and I understand that for a lot of people out there, it's a little bit of a tough sell to try a new brand or an underrated brand if you have to use your own money and bet on it. And of course, there's going to be an opportunity cost to everything. So if you buy this shoe, you're not going to buy the 1080 or whatever it might be. So I'm going to look up the price here, because if this is under 150, and I know Skechers does some sales, if we can find this under 150, that's going to be a great deal. Hold on. Yeah, guys, look at this. On Running Warehouse for $130 in this yellow color in size 11 and 12. There's one more color, just a clean black, $70 for a men's size 7. Let's see if I can find some more inventory out there. Yeah, and then we also do have it on Amazon here for this $130. So seems there's some inventory still out there. Running Warehouse, size 11 and 12, Amazon, and then a few other places. $130 or $70 if you're a men's size 7. That is a great deal for this guy. And we got some sort of a weird bug situation up here as well. But man, that's a great deal. Great shoe. I think hopefully for the Max Road 7, my one hope is they revise the design language a little bit. I really like the design language from the Alpha Tempo. Let me go grab that so you guys can see what I'm talking about, and then let's go do the breakdown. So take a look at this. This is the Alpha Tempo. It's got a little bit of a different vibe to it, as you can see. It also has a different foam, Hyperburst Pro, and I liked it. I like the geometry. I didn't love it. I didn't feel that it was as good as shoes like the SC Trainer and Boston 12, but this guy here, the, what is it called, Max Road 6, this is a competitive shoe. As good, or even a little bit better than some of the other Max Cushion shoes I've tried. So let's go get this breakdown in and avoid any slugs in our way. BBL Jersey, BBL Jersey. Man, I don't know what it is down here on camera. This thing really looks like just a puffy puffball. It's insane. I don't know if it's the perspective or something, but oh man, that's hilarious. Do you guys see that? It doesn't look that big in real life, but 41 millimeters of stack in the back here, and immediately as I put my foot in this, I could tell this was gonna be a hit. I told you, I'm like a Rain Man with these things sometimes. As soon as I slip my foot in them, I can know. Sometimes I'm wrong, and sometimes it takes some miles to influence my opinion one way or the other, but this was an instant hit from step in to the end of those 10 miles. It was awesome, and I'm surprised the shoe doesn't get more pop. I'm also surprised Skechers doesn't have a little bit more inventory out there, and I'm surprised they're not pumping up the marketing a little bit, because this is oh gosh. The mosquitoes are starting to get crazy. If you've tried one of those mosquito removal services, please let me know. I think the one in Charlotte here is called Mosquito Joe's. Does it work? Because out here it's just crazy. But we're gonna keep it rocking. Man, I'm like the anti-Steve Irwin of bugs. I'm like the Laura Croft, what's her name? Laura Croft? I'm the Laura Croft of bugs. As I was saying, this is an awesome shoe. A nice, soft, slightly dense but bouncy foam. It reminded me a lot of the Light Strike Pro, and that makes sense because this is also a supercritical foam like that Light Strike Pro, so injected with that gas. And this is one of the first foams, not this exact foam, but Skechers in these foams, they were one of the brands to pioneer this type of manufacturing process with these foams and bring something new to market. So I'm rooting for them to come out with some heat later this year. They told me at the running event this year, 2024, they're going to debut a whole new line of shoes. These shoes have been on the market for a little while, but this was a very competitive, fun shoe to run in. So I'm trying to think of some good comps to this. I think if you've tried a shoe like New Balance More V4. Now, I've tried that shoe just briefly. I've put it on, done some jogging in it. I might not need to actually bring it on the channel, but step and feel, very similar to the shoe, also that slightly heavier weight, and then the stack height that you're getting, really similar to a shoe like that. But the thing is, with the foam in here, unlike that and this is wild, man, sorry. All right, we're just gonna have to power through. Bugs don't have anything on me. But the difference is, unlike the fresh foam, in this guy here, right, it's way bouncier and not necessarily softer, but you get more pop. And then the rocker under here is amazing. So I don't know how much you can actually tell on camera how much of a rocker feeling this has, but it really encouraged me to land on the midfoot, and not necessarily encouraged me, but it worked well with my stride to have me land a little bit more on the midfoot and then just gently roll me through and pop me off the toe here. Really nice feeling, and with that 6mm drop, perfect, I'll say it, perfect underfoot geometry and stack height for this shoe, for the recovery shoe. And I'm not gonna say it's rivaling the 1080 V13 because that shoe has 300 miles on it and it is lab tested and Supwell certified, verified to be a banger. But this on the first run is going up into that upper echelon of at least first run shoes. I try not to get too high, but it's going up into that upper echelon of shoes because it's stable, it's soft, it's comfortable, it's supportive, and it has enough rock and roll to be able to move through different paces. So I didn't do any specific strides or faster pace pickups. I was cruising at about an 8-minute recovery pace for most of that, and then I dropped it down to about 7:30, 7:40 on the last mile, and it felt really natural at all those paces. I think these rockered shoes with the curved bottoms are among the most versatile shoes out there because it's easy to run at whatever pace you go, especially if you have a nice foam popping off the back here where you land and then it rolls you forward, which this shoe has. So was great at that 8 flat recovery pace, was great as I picked it up more into normal, steady, everyday miles, 7:30, and was overall just a really fun, comfortable shoe to run in. Now, potential downsides, weight would probably be one of them, but the shoe actually reminds me a lot, and I'm gonna say it. It reminds me of a baby Hoka Skyward X. Got to adjust the hat because the rain's coming down, but it reminds me of a baby Skyward X in that you have that rocker, you have a ton of stack, but it's almost $100 cheaper than that shoe and feels really similar. Stack, comfort, bounce, you get the plate. So 4-foot plate in here, it's not gonna influence the ride that much. I think all it does is really firm up the forefoot a little bit, maybe stabilize it, but I didn't have any issues with stability out here in the heel. And I think the reason that they leave the plate out of the back is to provide a little bit more of that soft, nice, dense, bouncy landing feeling out here instead of stiffening it up. So I do like that they only have the half plate here. The back was really comfortable, and then the front, when I picked up the pace a little bit, was comfortable as well. And as you can see here, it's not gonna be the firmest plate out here in the front. I actually don't know exactly where it is, but wherever the plate is, it's not providing the most stiffness to the shoe. It's still a decently flexible shoe, which is not that common for a shoe with this much stack. So I actually don't think this would be a bad shoe for doing some faster pace. I could probably rip off a 10-mile tempo in this, cruising at a 6:30 pace. Like the Skyward X, I was cooking at 6:20s at some point in that shoe. So guys, I think if you were looking at the Skyward X and you think maybe it's a little bit too expensive, this could be a good one. And I'll do a double day. I'm not sure if I'm going to do a long run in it anytime soon because I want to start testing more of the marathon racers for the long runs. But this is a fun shoe, comfortable shoe, and Toyota 4Runner. It's the official state car of North Carolina. But fun shoe, comfortable shoe, and was awesome for having on my feet for almost an hour and a half. And like the Skyward X, the weight isn't a huge penalty here because you get that bounce. And that was my issue with the Triumph 22 with the weight in that shoe. I didn't feel like I was getting a ton of benefit and bounce. That is not the case here. Really bouncy foam, really soft. This was everything that I was hoping the Power Run PB would be, and it almost feels like a New Balance type of shoe. That's why I keep comparing it to the More V5 or More V4. This feels like something that would come out of the New Balance camp, maybe a little bit of a denser fuel cell, last generation fuel cell, that supercritical TPU EVA blend feels really similar to that. And then the width that you're getting here feels also similar to something that you get out of the More V4. So if you took the More V4, combined it with the SC Trainer V2, gave it the 1080 V13 upper, and maybe subtracted 1 point out of 10 from it from New Balance just because it's Skechers and it's not going to be as good, but that's what you'd be getting in the Max Road 6 here. So after the first run, I am really pleased with this shoe. I haven't been this happy about one of these Max Cushion shoes in a while, and for me it's hard to find a shoe that I really love in this Max Cushion category because some of them tend to be a little bit awkward, some of them tend to be heavy. I like the 1080, I like the Invincible, and then if we're thinking about actually this compared to the Invincible, you're not going to get as much compression out of the forefoot in this here. It's going to stand up a little bit better to longer miles and pace. I know some people with the Invincible felt like it bottoms out a little bit in the forefoot. I don't think you're going to be getting that here, and I definitely did not get any of that here today in this hour and a half run. And then also, I know I was talking about the heel issue. I did not have any issue with slipping around or the upper once I retied the shoe. So compared to the Invincible, similar type of shoe in that it's a fun, bouncy, comfortable, but also softer and stable shoe. But this one is a little bit denser, a little bit more support in the forefoot, and a little bit more of a rolling feeling. And also with the 6mm drop versus the 10mm drop, probably going to work better for more people's strides. It does not feel like it's as aggressively pushing you up onto your toes when you're standing and going at slower paces. So overall, guys, Max Road 6, banger, banger, banger. I am really happy with this shoe. I'm going to probably pull this into my regular rotation right now. I'm going to let the Triumph 22 rest, do some more runs in this guy. Baby Skyward X here, man. I'm happy with this shoe. So, as always, I appreciate you watching, and I'll be back tomorrow with another video. One more thing, guys. I forgot to talk about the rubber on the bottom here. So, Goodyear rubber. It was solid. It wasn't amazing, but it was definitely slippier out here on the brick, but we were not running on the brick out there, running on the normal asphalt, and it was fun. I didn't feel like I was slipping around or anything, and the rubber coverage that you get on this is actually really good. They extend it all the way out to the back, and it's a decently thick layer, so I actually anticipate the durability of this would be solid. I think that's the only thing I forgot to mention, and yeah, this icy Gucci lemonade colorway, it looks pretty fire. I think, guys, tell me, if you live in Brooklyn, is this shoe cool? Does the design of it make it cool now? I'm not sure because I live in the suburbs, but let me know if you live in Brooklyn. Is this a cool shoe now? Is this something Bella Hadid would wear?